It's 2:37 in the morning. The room is quiet, the lights are off, and your body is lying perfectly still, but your mind refuses to cooperate. You shift positions, you check the clock again, minutes stretch into hours, morning starts to feel closer than sleep itself. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. For millions of people around the world, this isn't an occasional inconvenience, it's a recurring struggle. And that struggle has a name: insomnia. But what exactly is insomnia? Is it just not being able to sleep, or is there something deeper going on inside the brain and body? And why does something as natural as sleep suddenly become so difficult? Let's break it down, right here, on History of Simple Things. At its simplest, insomnia is a sleep disorder where a person has trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, or both. But that definition barely scratches the surface. Insomnia isn't just about having a bad night. Everyone has nights where sleep doesn't come easily. Maybe you're stressed, excited, or had too much coffee. That's normal. What separates insomnia from occasional sleeplessness is persistence. If sleep problems happen regularly and start affecting how you function during the day, your mood, focus, energy, or even your health, that's when it becomes insomnia. There are actually two main types: acute insomnia, short-term, often triggered by stress or life events; chronic insomnia, long-term, lasting at least 3 nights a week for 3 months or more. And here's what makes it tricky. Insomnia isn't always about not sleeping at all. Sometimes people with insomnia do sleep, but it's light, fragmented, or not restorative, so you wake up feeling just as tired as when you went to bed. To understand insomnia, you have to understand sleep itself. Sleep isn't just switching off. It's a highly coordinated process controlled by your brain, especially regions that regulate your circadian rhythm, your internal body clock. This clock is influenced by light, hormones, and daily habits. One of the key players is melatonin, often called the sleep hormone, which signals your body that it's time to wind down. In people with insomnia, this system can become disrupted. Instead of powering down at night, the brain stays alert, almost like it's stuck in daytime mode. Researchers often describe insomnia as a state of hyperarousal, meaning your body is physically and mentally too awake to sleep. Your heart rate may be slightly elevated, your thoughts may race. Even if you feel exhausted, your brain refuses to let go. It's like trying to fall asleep with a switch that won't turn off. There isn't just one cause of insomnia. It's usually a combination of factors that build on each other over time. One of the biggest triggers is stress. Big life changes like moving, losing a job, or going through a breakup can throw your sleep completely off balance. But stress doesn't have to be dramatic. Even everyday worries can keep your brain active long after your head hits the pillow. Then there are lifestyle habits. Irregular sleep schedules, late-night screen use, too much caffeine or alcohol, and napping too much during the day. All of these can confuse your body's internal clock. Health also plays a role. Conditions like anxiety disorder, depression, and chronic pain are closely linked to insomnia, and sometimes insomnia feeds itself. You have a few bad nights of sleep, then you start worrying about not sleeping, which makes it even harder to sleep the next night. It becomes a cycle. We often treat sleep as optional, something we can sacrifice when life gets busy. But insomnia proves that sleep isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. When you don't sleep properly, the effects show up almost immediately. Difficulty concentrating, irritability or mood swings, slower reaction times, and memory problems. Over time, the consequences become more serious. Chronic insomnia has been linked to increased risk of conditions like heart disease, weakened immune function, and even metabolic issues. But one of the most overlooked effects is emotional. When you're sleep-deprived, your brain becomes more sensitive to stress and negative emotions. Small problems feel bigger, patience runs thinner, everything feels just a little harder. It's not just that you're tired, it's that your entire system is off balance. One of the most frustrating things about insomnia is that the harder you try to sleep, the harder it becomes. That's because sleep isn't something you can force. Imagine trying to force yourself to relax. The effort itself creates tension. The same thing happens with sleep. When you lie in bed thinking, "I need to fall asleep right now," your brain interprets that as pressure. That pressure triggers alertness, not relaxation. This is why insomnia often turns bedtime into a stressful experience. The bed, something that should signal comfort, starts to feel like a place of struggle. And over time, your brain learns that pattern. One reason insomnia feels so common today is that modern life isn't designed for good sleep. Artificial lighting keeps our nights bright. Smartphones keep our minds engaged. Work schedules often ignore natural rhythms. Even entertainment plays a role. Streaming platforms make it easy to say, "just one more episode," until it's suddenly 3 a.m. In a way, insomnia isn't just a personal issue, it's a reflection of how we live. We've created a world where rest is often pushed aside, even though our bodies still depend on it. So, what exactly is insomnia? It's not just the absence of sleep, it's a complex condition where the brain and body fall out of sync, where rest becomes effort and nights become something to endure instead of enjoy. But understanding insomnia changes how we see it. It's not about laziness, it's not about bad habits alone, and it's definitely not something you can fix by simply trying harder. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.